It's a tree-lined street where children play and neighbors talk in the driveway. It's the street where Mary Perrin wanted to raise her family.
I like the house. I feel if I buy the house, I'm going to be so happy.
Mary and her neighbor Josephine moved into this Biscayne Gardens neighborhood 5 years ago. They became fast friends, not knowing how much they would need each other when tragedy would strike.
I never think 1 year later this problem is going to start. It's like a bad dream.
Mary was diagnosed with breast cancer, and Josephine got the same diagnosis a year after that.
When you heard the news, when the doctor said, I found you had cancer in the breast, it's terrible.
Neither woman had a family history of cancer. Both beat it. But for Josephine, there would be one more battle.
1998, the cancer in the breast. 1999, cancer in the colon.
Soon, cancer became a shockingly familiar word on their street. The man next door to Mary got throat cancer. Then, across the street, a young mother of two was diagnosed with brain cancer.
But you can't recognize her. You see her now. Because it's deformed, it's like a monster. It's so sad.
Sad and frightening. On this one street, there have been 4 separate bouts with cancer. Is it a coincidence, or are these people living on a very sick street?
Maybe we are exposed to radiation someplace. I don't know. But
Somewhere, or the dirt, I don't know, somewhere.
Rick Wood tests property for contamination. He first took a look back in history.
What we try to do is identify what are the historical uses of the property and how might they have been impacted by the use of chemicals.
Chemicals that could cause cancer. This aerial photo of the neighborhood taken in 1945 shows miles of farm fields and cattle grazing areas, and it could be a clue.
The agriculture we know uses pesticides and chemicals, sometimes cattle grazing. They did dipping of cattle in vats, which they used arsenic in those cattle vats. That's a potential concern.
Wood says it's possible the ground could be contaminated, but to know for sure, testing is needed, and that costs thousands of dollars. 7 News contacted several government agencies about this neighborhood. The EPA told us they would look into it. Miami-Dade Environmental Resource Management told us they had no indication of any contamination in the area and referred us to the health department, who told us they do investigate what's called cancer clusters, but say 4 people with 4 different cancers does not indicate a cancer cluster.
wow.
For Josephine and Mary, it's not knowing that's torture. And now they have to decide whether to pay for the expensive testing themselves, because even their children have started to ask questions.
But the first one said, I'm so scared, Mommy. I don't want to come to live in this house anymore.
And now these women aren't so sure they want to live here anymore either. On special assignment, I'm Brian Andrews, 7 News.